All right, well, let's close with some overreaction or proper reaction. Start with a very big question here.
Hmm.
Overreaction or proper reaction? Alabama has big, big offensive issues after delivering the single most deceiving final score in human history.
No, everything's great. Everything's going according to plan. The recruiting's awesome. The offense looks great. The offensive line looks night and day different from last year.
I mean, goodness. This if you were, I tweeted this out. I'm like, the code for if you say the words Alabama cruise past USF, that's just code for I didn't watch this game because
Yeah.
man, Alabama was in a dogfight, and in the middle
Yeah.
of the fourth quarter, our guy Alex Golish, friend of the program,
Why
loved
did
the
he kick a
effort that his
field
team,
goal, man?
dude. It's
What?
fourth and four, and
Dude, he had everything going his way. I was like, brother, this is your moment. Just go for it. And after that, it was over. Like, that was it.
I want to be nice because I love Alex Golish. I really do. And I'm very grateful that he's gotten to know him a little bit and he's like come on the show and he's been, even the conversations we have it off the record.
Yeah.
I think big things are ahead for him and I do find myself rooting for him. That was such a James Franklin decision.
Oh.
It pains me to say that. That was such a James Franklin decision on 4th and 4 when you're down 8 to kick a field goal in that spot to make it 21-16. I didn't like it. I did not like it one bit. And I get some of it. It's like, all right, well, your defense to that point had been stopping them and had been doing everything you could have hoped for against Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead, don't you know it, the 17-year-old wonderkin Ryan Williams touchdown the other way right after this one. Did you know he's 17? Did you know he's 17? He should be at his high school prom.
There's another one. Yeah.
They're going to say he's 17 after every single catch. He's unbelievable. I mean, he is, but still, Alabama just all of a sudden figured it out late. Alabama's got offensive issues because if that's what happens when Caden Proctor isn't there, and I don't even think Caden Proctor has shown himself to be a serviceable SEC offensive lineman yet. But if that's the shuffling this early in the season, that's bad. Because Tyler Booker, one of my favorite people to talk to at SEC Media Days, the heart and soul of that program, he ain't a left tackle. He's not. And that right tackle, every single time Alabama had a big play, you knew that it was holding. It was either holding that they got called for or holding that they got away with.
I think these refs are just like, brother, like, we look like we're fixing this game. If we call holding on every play, like, we're going to let you get away with it half the time.
Oh, my gosh. Alabama has offensive issues to figure out. I said as much as I believe that the Jalen Milroe, Kalen DeBoer relationship is going to work, I predicted Milroe would win the Heisman. Okay, and I predicted Alabama was a playoff team. I did say, I think there are going to be growing pains early on. Those are big growing pains, big time growing pains because, man, even the fumble that they had on the goal line where Milroe does the thing that everybody hopes their quarterback does is just go from under center. Why take it shotgun when it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 or something like that? And instead, he can't handle the snap. How much of that is on Brailsford? How much of that is on Milroe? I don't know. But it was a bad moment in that game. And Alabama fans were just kind of stunned looking around like, we're only up by 1, and it's the 4th quarter against these guys again. They are never scheduling USF again. I can guarantee. As long as Greg Byrne.
26.
Wait, they get him again in 26?
Yep.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't want to say take USF money line. Too early for that. Whatever the spread is, take USF. Golish probably would have to still be there, which I don't think he will be by 26. But man, he gets him fired up. And I'm happy for I am happy for Alex Golish that he showed that last year wasn't necessarily a fluke with what his team was trying to do. That Todd Orlando defense, man, they did so many things to frustrate Milroe. Frustrated 3 different Bama quarterbacks in a 2-year stretch. There's not a whole lot of people that can say that they've done that. The USF defense deserves credit, but man, the Alabama offensive line, buddy, the tackles, a problem. And I don't know that Caden Proctor just instantly fixes that.
Yeah, it's fascinating, man. And I think at the end of the day, you got Milroe who feels like an instant offense, right? I don't know why it's taken people so long. I mean, we've seen Bill O'Brien and going all the way back, like all these different offensive minds look at him and not exactly. It's like, bro, this guy's a fire hydrant. Just get him on the run and tell him to make one read and take off. And when this team can't get an easy first down, for some reason it just infuriates me because it's like, guys, Milroe is that guy. Like, you don't have to do it. Like, to your point about like the under center thing, it's like, if you just run a play for Jalen Milrow, it's gonna work. Like I don't know why we've taken all these different ways to just delay. Like against I know LSU's defense was not good last year, but the way they used him on third down last year against LSU was so perfect. Where it's like, okay, you're gonna rumble forward, and we're gonna make the other team tackle you. And so yeah, it's just crazy. Like I hope they figure that out because I think now they've gone the other way. Whereas like last year they're in this gridlocked offense, he would do some stuff with his legs. Now it's like, look, we're gonna show you that you can open it up and be like a pocket passer. It's like, bro, every time that I'm scared of Jalen Milrow, he is like making one cut or making one read and taking off. So yeah, I don't know. Eventually, like, I feel like that's going to have to show its head. Where like, cause that's what he did last year. He was just like, look, guys, like I'm taking over this offense. I'm taking over this team. I'm not running these dumb plays. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. My conspiracy theory about Alabama's talent remains true.
Do you think that? Because this is what I was thinking is as those plays just weren't necessarily there in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan, are those guys, and I realize Nick Sheridan wasn't the primary play caller at Washington, and that was Ryan Grubb. Do you think they're still transitioning away from Michael Penix of trying to protect the quarterback, trying to not put him in those spots, and they are forgetting the asset that they have in Milrow and understanding that ideally you don't want to run your quarterback 15 times against USF. If you're going to be playing a 16, 17 game season, you do not want him to take these kinds of hits early on in early September when you're trying to establish these other elements of your offense. How much of that is still, though, man, our last guy did not need that. And we are still figuring out those moments in which, okay, we need to stop testing out this offense. We need to go win a football game. We need to go pick up a third down. We need to be able to just say, go make a play. And I love the fact that Milrow kind of kept his eyes downfield. I think it was Prentice or Bernard who had the touchdown on that ball that he just zipped in there. But that was like a nice show of growth, in my opinion, in those spots. And there are going to be those little moments here or there, but clearly, whatever you want to call it, there is still a figuring out process with all of that and finding a way to make this work.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money there. And yeah, to your point, I mean, the offense got better after this game last year. I truly don't think they ever figured it out. I mean, that final play of the season last year pretty much encapsulates it. That was just duct tape on top of duct tape on top of Band-Aid. And yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that, if you have a quarterback that can't move and that you're scared of protecting him, then you transition to a guy like Milrow who is just made of concrete. It's hard to like not have the yips because, every year that like when Penix could finish a year, they were awesome. So it was like that was our biggest part. That was their biggest priority was keeping him healthy. Whereas now it's like, hey man, so, sometimes you're just in a 13-14 game with USF. Sometimes you just need to run your quarterback. That's just what it is. Pretending like you're not just makes it worse.
Yeah. All right. Let's end with a couple with a few here. All right. Overreaction or proper reaction? Billy has no choice but to start DJ Lagway after he was brilliant.
Here we are again, man. This is Anthony Richardson 2.0, isn't it?
I'm going to say it's an overreaction because Billy still has a choice, and that's kind of the problem. I mean, Lagway.
He's starting Mertz.
He's starting Mertz when Mertz comes back. I don't know how many.
Starting Mertz.
Like, I'll be stunned if he starts Lagway. I'll never say never, but I think Billy truly looks at what Lagway's doing and going, man, that's going to be awesome next year or the year after that. I guess next year because Mertz this is last year of eligibility. He's like, can't wait to see that busted out in 2025 after I get a year 4 totally. The throw that he made, stepping up in the pocket, where it wasn't a jump throw, but he like kind of threw out of rhythm, and the arm strength and how on target that was on the right side. I was watching that live and just going, that's silly. I don't care who you're playing against. Again, like we talked about with Nico, some of these throws would be ridiculous against air. And DJ, like the numbers that he put up were insane. Obviously, it was a favorable matchup. I still feel like we're going to see Graham Mertz when he's healthy. Now he's still in concussion protocol. We saw Billy afterwards say, DJ's going to be involved. That's going to be the plan. Florida fans, don't get your hopes up that all of a sudden changed Billy's mind. I don't think he watched him play against an FCS team, as brilliant as he looked, and thought, now I need to turn to this guy and I need to just put all my eggs in that basket.
I know what you said, but it's just so funny how similar this is to Anthony Richardson. It's just, we've done all of this before, and if you play him too early, you do what you do with Anthony Richardson, and you kind of break him a little bit. So, Unfortunately, guys, the best thing that could happen is that guy could sit on the bench because you don't want Billy Napier to be your head coach. So at the end of the day, you want to keep that guy as far away from the field as possible.
But then you lose Lagway. That's the issue.
Do
Because
you?
like Lagway committed to Florida because of Billy. I know that's a very, very odd thing to think about with the conversations we're having about Lagway compared to the conversations that we're having about Napier.
Right.
But that is 100% the case. It is so true that he put his faith in Billy Napier. And I'm not saying that it automatically means that you're not going to keep DJ Lagway if you fire Billy Napier. Okay, crazier things have happened. But there is a reason why he bought in to his system, his vision, the timeline, all of it. And that is going to be, in this era, a big conversation piece if Billy gets fired. Again, they win this game. They beat Samford going away, which, look, a few years ago, certain Dan Mullen, can't say that he beat Samford going away. But so I guess that's one thing that Billy's got on Mullen.
God, this is so funny. Anyway, moving on.
All right, how about overreaction or proper reaction? Oregon is fraudulent. Proper reaction. Struggled in the trenches. Boise State, down to the wire, man. Down to the wire. Not great. After struggling against Idaho, yeah, proper reaction. Okay, then let's end with this one because this one's a little bit more intriguing. Notre Dame's playoff path should end with that loss to Northern Illinois.
It should. I mean, will it?
I kind of think it's a proper reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the rest of that schedule going, and even if they went out, that stench will linger. And I mean, think about how differently we're looking at that schedule now. As you lose to Northern Illinois, oh my God! I mean, if they lose, obviously, like the odds of Notre Dame now going 11-1 with that being their only loss with the offensive issues that they have. Riley Leonard was not particularly good at all in this game. I don't think we'll have to worry about that, but it's more of just a conversation piece. So I'm going to say proper reaction for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the smart people of the favorite podcast. I'm not going to call anybody out, but you start.
Andy and Ari, you know what? They got cold takes. I love Ari. Ari's a good dude. Look, I was right there with him. I said, like, how many teams would you put ahead of Notre Dame for their playoff path? It looked very favorable.
I'm saying, all the people were going, oh, that Texas A&M game, that was a game they wouldn't win a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, they went into College Station and did all this. Well, this is also a kind of game they wouldn't lose a couple of years ago. Okay, so yeah, maybe. Oh, we can finally win the big one. It's like Marcus Freeman is like, once you can get like 3 steps away and look at him, it's like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. But then you got to get that 3 steps away. It's so funny. It's like people are running to go give this guy all this credit, and then every year he has a game like this where it's like, wow, so you guys have lost to 2 Sun Belt teams. Oh, that's crazy. Or MAC team,
not Sun Belt. Northern Illinois is in the MAC. People forget that.
MAC teams. Yeah.
We mustn't forget that. I've been to DeKalb many a time. Fun fact, my brother played for the DeKalb County Liners when he was playing summer baseball after his junior year of college, and I went to a lot of those games. I spit sunflower seeds on this turf that they had that I'm sure those seeds are still stuck in that turf somewhere. And
they were holding Riley Leonard's cleats down.
Dude, I would bring the biggest bag of seeds and just 20-year-old Connor did not care. No care whatsoever. So DeKalb, lovely place. Parts of my DNA all over DeKalb. Take that for however you want. All right, that'll do it. Week 2 in the books. Intriguing week it was. Wild, weird week in college football, as they always seem to be. Well, they just always seem to be. If you haven't, leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch every single episode of the Saturday Down South podcast. Follow us on Twitter at the SDS Pod, at Set Down South, at CJ Guerra, at Go So Hard. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.